Well, good evening from southern New Hampshire, Zone 5, Simply Garden and Home. And hard to believe it's already July 1st. Wow, where's the season going? It's going quickly, but I want to give you a quick overview of how you can plant seeds, small seeds this time of year, and how you can get an extended crop into the fall for what you do right now. So we're going to go ahead and focus on planting carrots, some beets, radishes, and then also a lettuce, and show what I do to get this going along quicker so you can enjoy these smaller seeds when you got 80, 90 degree, maybe 100-degree temperature, how to get those germinated. But first I want to give a shout out to Kelly's Kitchen Garden. On my previous video I did the interplanting of crops, and I saw a great job that she had done. So check out her channel. I tell you what, she's got a beautiful garden. She's over in, I think it's Scotland, and just it's amazing the scenery she has out in the distance where this garden is located. It's like everybody's dream. But anyways, really enjoy watching what she does, and just check her out, check out her channel, and like I say, she's doing a great job, and I really enjoy watching what she does. And but back to what we're going to do here. We're going to go and plant carrots. So what I've done here is I'm going to be planting a couple different varieties. And this is nothing special. These are from Germinate, tender sweet. I got a huge full 2 ounces by mistake. Germinate sent these to me by accident last year, and they're still germinating well. They said keep them, our mistake. And then also I'm going to plant another row of long emperor. I interplant with radishes. And then also I do have some beets soaking in the house right now. I do find it's best to soak beet seeds overnight, so I'll plant those tomorrow. But what we're going to do is basically plant the carrots. I do like planting the carrot seeds pretty close together this time of year because of the heat of the winter. And carrots usually have a hard time germinating. So I like to plant carrot seeds pretty close together this time of year because of the heat of the summer. They seem to germinate pretty well as long as they're kept moist, but I plant them pretty close together. Yes, the pain is that you're going to have to sort them out, thin them out later on. It's a nice little patient bearing thing because these will grow pretty close together. Then you got to sort them out to about every 2 inches apart. But this way I'm making sure I'm getting a good full germination in there. You don't have to thin them out when it's 90 degrees out. Wait till the cooler part of the evening if you do get that. But that just, I'm going really overly probably thicker than I normally need to. Also I got 2 ounces of seed, so I got plenty to use up here. I've even given some away to some people too. So there we go, that's that. And of course, once again, make sure you don't plant your carrot seeds too deep. 1/4 inch, 1/3 of an inch is fine. The next variety we're going to be planting is, here we go, long emperor, just off the rack at the store. And I'll plant these pretty close together too. So what we're going to do, what I did is I found a spot in the garden. Actually, I have my strawberries growing up here, and the strawberries will eventually fill out runners here. But I thought, you know what? I'll steal a little space here right now, give it the carrots, and guess what? When the carrots are wrapping up in the fall, the runners will be coming into it, and they can work with each other. That's no problem at all. And, but what I'm going to do is show you in a second here. We're almost done planting these here. I'll tell you what, fall carrots are awesome. Just something with that cold, they get in there and whew, just a nice crisp fall carrot. Apologize for those of you in the southern gardens. I know you don't get that advantage, but actually the southern gardens, they can grow the carrots right through the winter, and they can probably enjoy that coolness in the wintertime. Now I also like to interplant some radishes. So, because what happens here is you throw 3 radish seeds in there. As they mature, you pull them out, and it really doesn't bother the carrots much at all. You might lose a few carrots in this process when you pull them up, but just another way of doing this. Actually, I learned this from, I mentioned to you the previous video of interplanting, Victory Garden. It's an old PBS show that would air back in the 70s and 80s. Victory Garden actually back then came out of the oil embargo problems back in the 70s. there's a lot of energy shortages and people were getting a little concerned along the lines of the gas station. I actually bought both of their books back in that day, early 80s, and I still refer to him to this day. Here's this is the original Crockett's Victory Garden. He's the one that started the whole Victory Garden PBS show probably back in the middle 70s. And then he left the show, and then Bob Thompson took it over. And you can still actually get these books on Amazon. I just looked it up. They're cheaper than what I paid for them back then, but hey, there's somebody's leftovers. I don't know how they get books on Amazon like that. There are leftovers, but probably what's the other company that does not Amazon, but that does the eBay? eBay, yes, thank you. So there we go, Victory Gardens. Like I said, a lot of structure I have in my garden today. My cold frame, cold frame idea came from them, how they built it. You can't see on the other side of the corn, my compost bin system I learned from them. If you look down this way here, the trellis I use for my celery and my cucumbers grew up there. I did that, came that from them. Some of the nettings I use. So anyways, you learn something, you adapt to it because it works. We're always willing to adjust and learn new things. And this might be something new, maybe some you ain't learned. So anyway, so I planted the seeds in here, got the radishes intermixed. We're just gonna gently give a nice little, like I say, 1/4 inch, maybe, not much more than that. I find if you go too deep with carrots, they won't come up. So the problem is you're saying, oh, if I don't put a 1/4 inch of soil on, how in the world am I gonna keep them moist? I have to be out every 90 degrees outside, let's say. You're gonna be out here a couple times a day watering these things because like grass seed, once carrot seeds swell up and dry out, they're not gonna germinate. So here's what I do. You can either put a wide board down. So how do you keep it moist? That's the problem. So you could take a wide board. This is actually my board used for edging the, making the grooves for the seeds to go into. You can lay that down, okay? And that keeps it nice and moist underneath. Another thing I really enjoy doing is just taking a piece of burlap, and I will water this in a little bit before I head off tonight here, but there we go. And just keeps it shaded. Check it every, the radishes will get up quicker than the carrots will. If I find that you can keep the radishes underneath the shade for a little while, it's okay. But this method here with the warmth, these carrots will probably germinate in about a week. It doesn't take long at all, so just set that in there. Make sure you soak it well. You still gotta water once in a while. Don't just forget about it because the heat will dry the burlap out, but at least you don't have to water a couple times a day. You can water every other day. And there we go. So that's how to keep your carrots going. Let's go talk about lettuce, because that's the next challenge is lettuce. So let me take a walk across the garden, and we'll work on that next. Okay, so over here, we're gonna plant lettuce. I stuck this in this bed here. We got some, I'll tell you what's going on. We have butternut squash growing there. Peas that are wrapping up. Yes, you all heard about my pea field earlier. Oh well, last year we had peas coming out of our ears literally. This year, it's a different story. So anyways, those are almost done. Beans will go on the other side. Had a little space here. I figured, you know what, the big challenge this time of year is trying to find spots to squeeze the stuff in. So I always kind of think, okay, don't need the space right now. What's gonna fill it in shortly? Yes, these butternut squashes will take off. I have room going that way for right now. I could push it that way. This won't be here all summer. In about a month, it'll be gone. So let's plant some lettuce seeds. So I went and prepared this. These are little wire hoops I have that I basically put in here. Oops, it'll rack down there. And the reason for the wire hoops, I'm going to be putting over top this spun polyester, kind of like a shade cloth. Okay, so we'll put that over top. So the key to getting lettuce to germinate is not only keeping it moist, keeping it shaded. If it gets above 80 degrees, 90 degrees, it's not going to germinate. So you got to keep it, in the east in the lower 80s if you can. I do realize some of the hotter climates you're not going to be able to do that. There you may have to start your lettuce indoors in the very hot climates, and then get it started like you would in the wintertime, and then bring it out when it gets a little cooler out. So let's go ahead and plant some. I got 5 varieties in here. I like planting a nice variety of lettuce. I got romaine. It's a jar organic. It's like a green romaine lettuce. And you got a salad bowl, a gourmet blend, and then a bib, kind of like a butter crunch. Okay, so let's go ahead and plant these in here. And these I don't plant, plant the proper depth, the proper depth spacing. I don't want to, overcrowd it, because you got, the thin them out. And then as I thin these out, what I do is I actually will transplant these in different parts of the garden, because once again, this is going to fill in. And so it's interesting, as I'm planting these here, I was thinking about Victory Garden. It's like, where'd this whole saying come from, Victory Garden? So I actually started back there in World War II. I know the U.S. did, I think England did it too. Grew these Victory Gardens because there's a shortage of food, and they're trying to do everything they can to help the war effort along and get food growing. So that's where Victory Garden came from. So we'll put this next one in here, and that's the jar organic romaine lettuce. There we go. I go through quite a bit of lettuce in the year. We have salads probably a couple of times a week. Healthy for you, especially pick right from your garden fresh. Can't ask for anything better than that. Of course, now you start getting the carrots. You start getting, you put broccoli in with it, radishes. What else? You get cucumbers pretty soon. That's enough there. Here we go. And then, so next we'll go over here. We'll plant some red salad bowl here. I like keeping little labels. That way they get an idea of what's going on in here, in different varieties. And like I say, if you keep them moist, keep them covered, they will germinate. All right, so I got all the different lettuce seed varieties planted in here. Now we're gonna go ahead and cover it lightly. Lettuce is only about 1/8 of an inch of soil, so I mean, it isn't much. If I read here, it says, yeah, 1/4 inch. Some's 1/8. They say 1/4. And once again, with lettuce, you plant it more than 1/4 deep, it won't come up for some reason. So you want to keep pretty close. Even I try to go a little less. And that's why it's so important to keep it moist. There we go. So we're going to grab the my covering. This will also help keep the moisture in too. So what we're going to do is going to put this on here. Now the key with this here is you want to make sure the sides are up a little bit. You don't want to suffocate the lettuce and get it too hot, because then if you don't get the air flowing underneath, you're going to defeat its purpose. So we're just going to pull this back here. Oh, there's a paper clip. Oh, sure, clothespin in there. Yeah, use clothespins if you want to. Paper clips probably fine, but you want to make sure the sides are kept up like this. So that way you keep the air circulating. You just want to shade it, not suffocate it, right? These little tips like this here really makes a difference to help you extend your season during the hotter part of the year. And then come September and of August, you get yourself some nice fresh lettuce coming in when your tomatoes are ripening, and you don't have to worry about carrots. Oh, you got carrots coming in for the fall, because your carrots will last right through September. So there we go. I'll go ahead and give it a little water in a little bit here. But thank again for watching us. I appreciate you subscribing and asking any questions. I'm always happy to answer you back. And if you got any ideas how you get things to grow in these hotter times of the year, let me know. I'd like to hear from you what you do. So thanks again for coming along, and we'll be back with more. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye now.